happening with the moon? A lot of stuff, apparently. Welcome to dboTV. My name is Duncan, and I'm going to have a special guest on tonight's episode, a very esteemed member of our community, Mr. Padraig08. But before we get into that, let's kick off the show, shall we? Welcome to dboTV. My name is NCSU Duncan, and got a pretty short but decent episode lined up for you today. I'm going to be talking a lot about the moon, and of course, before I jump into that, I should probably go ahead and say that dboTV is the official weekly news broadcast of Destiny.Bungie.Org. Hopefully, you're familiar with the site because it's pretty awesome. My guest this week is an esteemed member of our community. That's right, I said esteemed. He's been a longtime member of the Bungie.org family and one of my good friends. None other than Mr. Padraig08. He's been somebody that I've hung out with at multiple PAXs, and he's always a ton of fun. So when I put out the call for a quick, short notice guest, he answered. So let's see if we can get him in. Let me pull up Skype and give him a call. Hopefully he's actually sitting at his computer. This is going to be really awkward if he's not. There he is! Already dancing.
Oh, hi.
How's it going, Padraig?
It's going good.
Dancing? I like it. He's doing more dancing than I've done on this show. I'm already upstaged.
I'm trying to get a spin-off.
Alright. So before we dive into, this week's Bungie news, I wanted to talk a little bit about yourself. How long have you been a Bungie fan? What got you into Bungie?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid Bungie when they make, system seller.
Uh-oh.
So I'm a young Patty looking into Hollywood video, and I see next to the Xbox games that I don't own, I see this big towering green guy, and I'm like, who is this guy? Do you think she can take the throne? And I didn't play Halo until Halo 2, but after I played it with my brother, I distinctly remember it was on, I believe, Quarantine Zone, whichever is the one with the elevator, and I made the realization that the game had aliens and alien zombies, and that combination is just beautiful. So ever since then, and then it just led from that to Red vs. Blue to, I think when I first discovered Bungie.org was it was pre-Halo 3 for the beta. Claude had the contest for the Halo 3 Zune, and I wanted nothing more than the Halo 3 Zune. So I made a horrible little video, which apparently you had to get your own clips, but I took them off game trailers, and made a terrible little remix and lost. And then later got Halo 3 Zune from a Bungie grab bag. So
okay, nice.
But that's where I started and lurked for years, and then eventually in ODST I made terrible little posts about how the Waypoint commenters for the top 5 weren't funny, and and then eventually I turned into a hospitable person from there.
That's cool. And I mentioned earlier how we've hung out at PAX before. How long have you been going to gaming conventions like that? Was
Um, PAX
see.
was definitely my first.
Hmm.
A few years ago, after knowing you guys online for so long, after playing the customs nights and just hanging out with NSU Soldier, he
Yeah.
convinced me. He lived out there in Seattle, and he's like convinced me. He's like, you should come out. It's so awesome. Come on. I'm like, all right, I'll fly across the country. Why not? And I had such a good time. It's been 3 years now, so
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go to East when tickets drop tomorrow.
Yeah.
Uh, the gold rush that will be tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm already planning to hit refresh.
That's
But
me.
is PAX the only gaming convention that you've gone to, or have you gone to any others?
Gaming. I went to Wizard World, Chicago a few years ago.
Hmm.
That's just by happenstance. I happened to be there. But gaming, I'd say that yeah, PAX is really like the main mecca that I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Nothing much bigger than that. Well, of course, there's the HBO lands that have been
Well,
picked in
I mean that's. I
recent.
mean just PAX, not the HBO lands. Mega events
Well,
that those are.
I wrote everything. It's this wonderful little love ball that I call
uh,
family. But PAX is definitely like my main event. Definitely put all my resources into getting there every year.
so if you do get a PAX East ticket, would this be your first East? I don't recall seeing you
This
at it.
I almost went to East last year. I had a ticket,
Mm.
but I got a new job like 2 weeks before PAX, and I
Ah,
run out.
that makes it tough.
But this one, I hear this game's coming out around the same time, so like,
Yeah, that's. I've been
out.
meaning to post on the forums. Like, I almost want to. I feel bad encouraging people, but it's like I think this PAX East could be a pretty good time for Bungie fans if Destiny's coming out. I mean, PAX is April 11th through 13th, and that's falling, smack dab in
That's
spring.
that's
So
right.
I guess it's more of a question of it will Destiny be out before PAX or after? I'm guessing probably after,
I
just
think.
because.
Well, I'm betting on Xenos had the take place your bets a few maybe a month ago,
Uh,
and so I'm betting right for June 17th.
okay, yeah, yeah. See, that's my guess. When they say spring, I'm guessing it's going to be late spring, so
Yeah,
May, June,
right
which
around
means
summary.
yeah, which means PAX East right in the middle of April. That's probably going to be a really big event
Yeah,
for Bungie promoting the game. I mean, I'm sure it'll be there playable if it's not out already.
right.
Like I said, I was surprised that it wasn't at PAX Prime, but I'll
Yeah,
be really surprised if it's not at PAX East. So it should
I
be a good time.
I forgive PAX Prime because they had all that Gamescom stuff, and they just Germany's like a far away and stuff. So I understand not having big forearms there, but
And I'd rather they work on finishing the game instead of
yeah,
making yet another demo build just to show off new stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, it's forgivable.
But we'll get our hands on it soon enough. It's not
That's
quite as far as we'd
that's true.
hear.
We don't have to wait all the way for PAX East. The beta will be early
Uh,
2014. Who
uh,
knows? Who knows what that means? I'm assuming it's January, February time.
yeah,
Hopefully.
gives them a few months before the huge push.
Yeah. But anyway, so I guess let's dive into some news here. Hold on. I have. There we go. So there was yet another Bungie Weekly update that came out. I guess this is the third one under the reign of Deej, and it was pretty interesting. He started off with a quick paragraph, just sort of recapping the week at Bungie. There, he says, we made a waterfall look more like a waterfall, which is always nice. I love water in games. The waterfalls in Halo 3 and Reach always look pretty awesome.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so he said that. He also said, we brought our combatants up to speed so that their appearance can keep pace with the evolving destinations they occupy. So I'm assuming this means they tweaked movement speed a little bit and bumped it up a little bit. I guess all those MLG players out there will be happy if the movement speed's a little faster.
Yeah.
And then the last thing he said was the tower was infused with new life from the city streets.
Well, you can't let them dictate it, though. But
So I'm guessing by this
that's
last sentence he meant NPCs or something like that. But anyway, so the meat of this Bungie Weekly update was the moon, specifically the moon base. So this first shot here, this was a new piece of concept art that we saw, and it it just shows a guardian sort of overlooking the Hellmouth. Nothing too excitingly new here. This is sort of a vista we've seen before. In fact, this piece of concept art is actually a little bit older. We've seen it already, but Deej made a point to mention that you can actually see the moon base in this shot, sort of over in the middle left side of the Hellmouth there. And he says this was Mark Goldsworthy's original postcard for the moon. And again, you can see the moon base there on the left side. So this was another shot here that we've seen before, but now we know that that is the moon base there. But this stuff was new. So we have this quote from Sam Jones, lead environment artist, who says that the moon base is a mystery. The life spark of humanity has long gone out. It's now overrun by moon dust, meteors, and ghosts. What happened here? So we dive into some concept art here with this piece by I'm gonna just absolutely brutalize this name, but it's Dorge Belbrook. Made this piece of concept art, and Deej says that it was one of the oldest ideas for a playable space for Destiny. That they've sort of been kicking around the moon base idea since 2009. That's pretty cool, you know. They've been talking about this for a while. But Deej also mentioned that Mark Peterson and Ryan Ellis made a really early example of the moon base for Bungie Day of that year. I think that's really interesting because that means that the moon base was in some sort of maybe not playable form, but some sort of visual example all the way back in 2009. That's before Reach was even out, so that's pretty neat. Patty, you got any?
that definitely, like, I mean, it might be grasping at straws, but it definitely harkens back to that famous screenshot from ODST, The Destiny Awaits, where all you see is the moon and the Earth. And, you know, even knowing that there was stuff going on then pre-development is really exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's right, because ODST was in is that September of 2009? I believe that came out. I think so. So that means this moon-based concept has been around since before ODST was out. So it was more than just that poster they already had kicking around. They had the moon base and everything. So it's pretty exciting to think that a location like this has been in development for over 4 years. So I imagine there have been a lot of refinements to that. In fact, if you look at the next shot here, let me jump to that. Yeah, so this next shot was from Jesse Van Dyck, which was a more, updated concept art, and it looks like, maybe they've incorporated some of the actual geometry or something. I don't know. It's pretty gorgeous to just be a drawing, but I don't know. I won't doubt Jesse's skill. But anyway, Deej sort of talks about this one, and I really like the idea of that damaged sort of structure in the back. It looks like almost like a solar array, but there's definitely been some sort of trauma to the old moon base. But anyway, moving on, we've got this shot of the accelerator. I believe was the name of this particular image, and we've seen this before in some of the earliest Destiny videos that they came out with. In fact, I remember some forum members were trying to translate the sign there, which was I can't remember what the translation came out to be, but it didn't really seem to reveal anything. But I do think there's something interesting in the name Accelerator. What is it accelerating? Is it shooting things out into space? I don't know. But it almost looks like a multiplayer space to me. What do you think, Padraig?
I definitely I remember people tossing that idea around on the forums earlier in the week that they were definitely seems like they're making a bigger sell towards the Moonbase being like a more established multiplayer space, which they're seems like what they might be going with in terms of the competitive multiplayer, given that we don't know much about it. And then it'll be somewhere in the persistent world and might be like set.
Now, my question is are they gonna take the same approach they took with Reach and try and incorporate the multiplayer maps into the single player areas? I mean, obviously they've sort of said that multiplayer is going to be like part of the overall experience, like through the arena or something. But does that mean that all the multiplayer maps are only going to be set in that arena locale? I mean, I don't think so. We've seen there's that Mars map with the big wind turbines.
Blown out ruins.
Yeah, so I wonder if we'll see some of the same dual purpose areas where you might run into it in a co-op game type, but also run into that same area in the competitive multiplayer setup. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I definitely think it'll be Reach-ish, if that's. But I mean that's kind of like another game that's I think because it's so anomalous, but another game that's getting at that persistence is like GTA 5 just came out, and they definitely have that kind of like not reuse. It's really difficult to separate the main world from the multiplayer spaces if like the multiplayer instance is set within the world. I think that's what a lot of people, when they came away with that quote from Reach, where they said, "Oh, the multiplayer spaces were just ripped from campaign." Well, no, they were developed concurrently. You know, the whole map was itself together, and you know they set within these places that would work. Whether or not they were developed side by side or not is completely different.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I haven't played very much Grand Theft Auto online yet. I was having connection problems when I first tried, and I've just never gone back because I still need to beat the single player. But it is sort of interesting seeing those places have that dual purpose. So hopefully Destiny will pull it off without trying to be, you know, master of all. Wait, jack of all trades, master of none, as they say. I loved Reach, but I still feel like, you know, some of those multiplayer maps felt a little unfinished, I think. I don't know. But anyway, so we got some more concept art.
Shooting attention away from this. When you live it. Get away.
Alright, I have no idea what's going on over at Patty's place, but we'll keep looking at more concept art here. So here's a shot.
I apologize in a house of this. Things happen.
But anyway, so
we're GTA 5. Get on the story. It's good. Continue.
Okay. So on to the next piece of concept art. We've got this sort of underground basement-looking crypt area here, which is kind of different from anything we've seen before. I like the symbols on the back pillars there. It's looks like a lot of good combat space, a lot of cover, but also some open areas as well, and a little bit of elevation change on the left. It looks like there's some steps. So that'd be interesting. I wonder how closely this would be realized in the actual game. But anyway, this shot was cool. This next shot looks gorgeous. It's similar to a piece of concept art we've seen before, but it's sort of a different angle on there. And the sense of scale in this room is pretty amazing. It's a pretty big room, judging by the Guardian down in the bottom right. This sort of reminds me of the interior of a Covenant ship going all the way back to like Halo 1, which is pretty cool with the raised sort of walkway in the back. Anyway,
I
here we
definitely love the hive architecture. It's like, especially with that last shot, you can definitely get where Bungie's getting back to more of a classic sci-fi look. That looks a lot like the Death Star core chamber,
uh-huh.
like from Return of the Jedi. Like it has that vibe. But a
Yeah.
lot of hive architecture, actually going with the mythic sci-fi, has more of a like orc castle from Lord of the Rings. Like a lot of spires and like dark cathedrals, if you will. It's just like it has a lot of that going on. I really like that. It has a lot of character to it.
I could see Saruman in the middle there, bent over the Palantir or whatever that was. Xenos over in the chat said this shot makes him think of Alien, and
Yeah.
I have to agree there. Like the inside of the Duralect ship, the sort of egg chamber, I can get that same vibe from that, and that definitely sort of matches with the Hive. Palantir, sorry, higher noobs. So anyway, so this last shot, we've got more of an action shot here instead of just a static environment concept. This looks to be a battle between some guardians, and I'm pretty sure this boss character's name is Fogoth. I'm not sure where we got that before, but I noticed a bunch of different Destiny fans referring to him as Fogoth. So I'll stick with that, and he looks absolutely huge in this shot. Um, we've seen him a little bit in engine from the recent Moon trailer. I don't think he looked quite that big, but he's still a pretty beefy guy. What do you think? What do you think about boss characters, Padraig? It's we've had boss characters in Bungie games before, and I think they haven't always worked out, all that great. But I mean, some of them are okay.
Regret was amazing, but I definitely think this is going to be one of the things where Bungie moves away from, well, not away from what they were doing before, but more towards something that they haven't really conquered before. And it's, as you have legendary guns and legendary loot, you'll make your tale about these legendary monsters that you conquered and you saved the universe from. This cave troll mutant dude. I love the genre mythic sci-fi just because it's really a fusion that like makes sense, because like so much of this guy's backstory looks like experimented on and created from some kind of experiment, but he has such like a ogre urukai cave troll look to him.
Yeah, particularly with the chains and all that. It looks pretty dangerous, and I love like the spittle coming out of his mouth there from the scream. This guy looks kind of nasty. He's still got a full set of teeth though.
Dental hygiene's a lot better in the future.
So anyway, sort of another aspect of this Moonbase area we got from the Bungie Weekly Update was this comm tower, and Deej said that this concept came from Darren Bacon, and says that it's the main focal point of the Moonbase complex, and that during the Golden Age this was a relay station between Earth and the rest of the solar system. And that the architectural design of this structure here is important for two reasons. One, because it's got a little bit of color there. Got these nice orange stripes. Orange is a pretty cool color, right, Padraig?
I seem to think so. I mean, I've heard.
But Deej says that this use of color is very welcome amidst the subdued lunar color palette. Sorry. So yeah, it's kind of nice seeing that stick up out of the monochromatic dunes of the moon. But Deej also makes a point of pointing out that the height of the tower makes it useful for player navigation, so that you can see it when you're behind a dune. and looking at it from afar. So that's kind of interesting, bringing sort of gameplay, player feedback, or player guidance into the architecture of these structures you're building. But anyway, so we got a couple shots of this comm tower throughout its creation. So this first one here is sort of an unlit build, not completely unlit, but pretty basic. It doesn't seem to have the full lighting. This one was paint over done by Joseph Cross, and he was trying to, as Deej says, sell the powerful graphic design that runs throughout Destiny. But eventually, they threw this into Grognok, and I found this image kind of hard to puzzle out. It's a little busy, but presumably this is from the Grognok editor itself. And you can, if you look closely, you can sort of get a feel for the various ramps and walkways that are going into building this comms tower. And I believe I was listening to Guardian Radio today, and one of the guys there mentioned about how much this structure sort of reminds them of Blackout. And obviously before that Lockout, you've got all these different ramps and walkways. I wonder if we'll ever actually see any remakes of Halo maps popping up in Destiny. Would you be up for that, Padraig? Or would you see that as an affront to the canonicity of Halo?
I'm always happy with the comeback of the return of what's known. Definitely if they add something more interesting, definitely with Destiny being a completely different game, playing mostly differently, it'll be fun to see like a maybe even an unsung play space that the forgers can just happen upon a remake.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's another thing. Is like we're at that tender spot in the Bungie release where what we do know, like, is feasible compared to the dark, but like what we don't know and what we don't know is like so vast, and it's like you can't even think about it right now. Like just the amount of stuff that we haven't even covered yet. So like stuff like this will definitely come more into clarity as we get more as we get closer. We know more what's in and not in the game. I mean, it's too much to speculate almost.
Yeah. It's still a ways out. I mean, we still haven't gotten a really good look at competitive multiplayer. Just a lot of teases and stuff. So it still remains to be seen if any Halo maps could be useful in Destiny, considering how different the gameplay is going to be. I mean, they're both first-person shooters, but space magic changes a lot of things. Although, I mean, we've had armor abilities and stuff before, so there's a little bit of carryover there. So anyway, the
armor lock in that, I don't know what to do. It's not gonna be pretty.
As long as the Nova Bomb overrides the armor lock or something like that.
Fist of Havoc.
Yeah, there you go, Fist of Havoc. Well, anyway, so this last shot of the comms tower is sort of more final than the previous two, and you can get a better feel for the actual lighting that would be used in the game, and it looks pretty gorgeous. There's a lot of contrast there. You've got the bright sun on the moon around you, but it makes for a very very sharp shadow. The lighting engine in Destiny is just looking amazing, and I can't wait to see it in action more. But anyway, so that pretty much wraps up the Bungie Weekly Update. Deej did mention right before the end that he and Urk are about to go traveling, I believe to, was it Milan, London, and Paris. And I'm not sure what sort of gaming events they're going to in particular, but it's kind of cool that our two community managers are getting to travel around the world more. And Deej also mentioned that teammate Chris Alderson will be in Sao Paulo. So Bungie guys are getting out there and they're showing off more Destiny. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to be showing off that same E3 build, or if maybe they have a new build they're showing, or if it's just a video like when Dave Dunn went down to Australia. I think he was just showing videos to the press there. So that's what Deej and Urk are shopping around the world with. But Deej also mentioned that the Bungie podcast is on its way back. Oh, there we go. Bungie podcast, I guess episode 2 since the dark time. So it's kind of nice to see another one popping out so quickly. And this time, instead of the weapons guys, we've got lead environment artist Sam Jones and technical art director Ryan Ellis will be the guests on this podcast. So keep an eye out for that. I was surprised it didn't come out today and forced me to speed listen through it so I could shove something into dboTV. But I'm guessing it'll probably come out tomorrow or Thursday. But anyway, one other thing from the Bungie Twitter feed was sort of a quick tease at a pumpkin carving contest. It was short on details, so it sounds like that's going to be announced tomorrow. And Bungie.org veterans know how to handle a pumpkin carving contest. I believe there's one going on over at HBO right now, the traditional Guild-O-Lantern. So I guess Bungie knows a good idea when they see one. So curious to see what the prizes will be for this Bungie run contest. But anyway, the Ghosts in the Machine art gallery is still just over the horizon. Today's the 22nd, and this gallery starts on the 24th. I believe one of our Seattle friends will be attending there. Hopefully, I know Bjorn wanted to go. I'm not sure if Claude will be in town or not. But the Facebook page for this event showed off a piece of concept art that I hadn't seen before. This one was presumably from Jesse Van Dyck, and it was just sort of posted on the Facebook page without any comment. And I went back and looked again today, and it's been replaced with the concept art of the Pike that we've seen before. So I'm not sure if maybe it was an accident that they put this up there and had to pull it, but I managed to snag it before they pulled it. So here it is. It looks really cool. Kind of reminds me of Halo Reach, the sort of underground Forerunner structure there, but even more alien than that. So it also sort of reminds me of Portal 2, some of those deep levels down in the abyss there with all these huge structures and empty space. That's really creepy. I don't know. Where do you think this could be, Padraig? What?
I was gonna say by like some of the cave walls, it looks kind of moony, but that floor looks like water.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this is going on. I mean, it's definitely a dark recess, maybe underground, but there's light. So my theory is moon, but it could also be one of the moons of where is it, Jupiter?
Yeah.
if that's
yeah, like
real.
Europa or something.
Right.
Or with that water there, maybe that's more to like acid, and this is Venus or something. I don't know.
Right. But definitely, I'm more interested in what's going on in that metal spider web.
Yeah.
Ancient technology.
It's definitely a cool concept. So hopefully we'll see more stuff like this coming from the actual art gallery. And I noticed Bjorn said in the chat that he isn't going to be able to go after all. So maybe we'll find somebody. Oh wait, no, he is. That's what I get for scanning over the chat. Claude won't. Bjorn will be there. So we'll have at least one 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 reporter there in the field, and hopefully Bjorn can take as many photos as he can before getting kicked out. And we'll have some new stuff to talk about. But anyway, let's see. One other thing. Twitter user 024 tweeted this picture of a T-shirt he got. This was a new design to me. I hadn't seen this before, and I think he got it by pre-ordering Destiny at Eurogamer, which was weeks ago. And he pre-ordered it while he was there, and he finally just got this shirt in the mail, and it's pretty sweet. Got the nice traveler design on there. I don't think this isn't for sale on the Bungie store, and it's the first time I've seen it. So that's pretty cool. I wish pre-ordering it in the States would have gotten me the same thing. But I'm sure there'll be more Destiny shirts to go around eventually. Yeah, Xenos in the chat says he thinks that this is a shirt that Activision made and not necessarily Bungie, which sort of makes sense considering the large Activision logo on the sleeve. I know the shirts they were giving out during E3 and Gamescom, I believe, had the same Bungie Activision on the sleeves, even though the main design was different. But Traveler shirt's pretty awesome. Here is speaking of Twitter, Twitter user Tahoe Anime has a Destiny vehicle already. We haven't seen much about Destiny vehicles, but Tahoe Anime took matters into his own hands, or her own hands. I'm not quite sure. But it's pretty awesome stenciling, or logo. I assume those are stickers on the back of this Jeep. Nice. So I wouldn't mind putting that on my car, except that would probably make me a target, right? But well, anyway, that pretty much covers most of the news I wanted to talk about this week. But I did want to get into the old tip of the hat. So tip of the hat for this week, and Padraig, do you have a hat handy? I should have told you to grab one. I'm sorry, I've failed in my duties as host here. But
I have a hat. I've been wearing a hat.
Yeah, I'll make up for it with a new hat. I was sort of running low on hats a while ago, but I got a new infusion. I was hanging out with my parents last weekend, and I told them I was like, hey, bring all my hats from home, because I haven't been to my parents' house in a while. So Mom brought me this huge bag of my old hats and stuff. So this one's a little small, it's a little snug, but it's not too snug that I can't tip it. So tip of the hat for this week goes to Midnight. You might also know him as Xplain Ben on Twitter. And Midnight gets the tip of the hat because he made these sweet DBO tags. Sort of, so the smaller ones are zipper pulls, I guess, and the larger one is kind of a luggage tag, or I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's going to be something pretty cool. But anyway, Midnight made these awesome tags in sort of a 3D modeling program. I don't know if he uses SolidWorks or what, but he used Shapeways. I think it's shapeways.com, and got them 3D printed. And he mailed me the first run of those, sort of out of the blue. And hold on, let me see if I can show them off here. It's probably, there you go. It's pretty cool. Like, this one's that big. That's the biggest one. And then you got the smallest one right here. It's hard to see. And these are kind of neat. If you want one yourself, go onto the DBO forum, and Midnight posted the links to where you can purchase your own set through the Shapeways website, and they're kind of cool. I'm gonna use these the smaller ones as zipper pulls on the backpack I take to gaming conventions like PAX and stuff. They're pretty cool. Like I said, it's like they're plastic, and I don't think they're gonna break. Actually, it seems pretty resilient. But I might get some of the metal ones as well. So anyway, so tip of the hat to there you go. Tip of the hat to Midnight for making these. I always love it when people use their own sort of personal creative skills to build things related to Destiny, and especially DBO. Sort of man after my own heart here. Speaking of which, I wanted to bring this up. Here we go. Padraig here made this awesome hoodie that he brought. Are you wearing it right now? It looks like you are.
I actually am. I don't know if I was intentional, because it is cold now. I think it's October, but this came in a nick of time too. I got the little Titan, not to copy the Bungie quarter patch, but I would flip around, but it's probably easier seeing the picture. The back, which I detailed up right before PAX, because I saw your sweet track jacket that you're wearing.
I'm actually wearing right now.
Yeah. Guy who could have, he's not the only guy who can have exclusive, one of a kind Destiny DBO swag. So I set out to outdo you, and not that it's outdone, but.
Well, I don't know, man. That back logo there is pretty awesome. I think it's cool. I also dig the Titan logo you've got on the front right pocket there. Sort of. Is that the class that you're gonna play when the game comes out? Titan?
I'm looking to spec Exo Titan right now. I'm trying to throw together a few characters in my mind, like that when I did contest on the forum not long ago, and I had codes to throw away from Steam. I just like brainstorming of like little themed characters that you can throw together, even if that changes over time. But like right now, what's calling me is definitely the Exo Titan. I'm not sure if Exos can be male or female modeled, but probably male, just to identify with my man. Or not.
All right. Well, anyway, so I guess that about wraps up this episode. I want to say thank you to Mr. Padraig08. Call you by your full name. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Sort of on short notice. I think you did a good job.
Thank you.
But I'll definitely have to get you back on sometime in the future.
It'll be fun. I mean, this is very so. Anytime I can ramble about a game that hasn't come out yet, I know so much about it.
But so anyway, there we go. So as always, if you have any feedback for me or Padraig here, you can leave it at Destiny.Bungie.Org/forum. I usually try to post a dboTV thread every week, an hour or two before the episode airs. We've also got YouTube and Twitch channels, as always. And, of course, our very own dboTV page, Destiny.Bungie.Org/dboTV. You can watch the episodes there, and you can also watch them live. Not just from the archive, but live. If you click on the little purple bar there, you can expand it to see the stream and the chat. We've also got a Facebook page and Twitter accounts. And Padraig, you've got a Twitter account too, right?
Yeah. It's the name that you said. I have it in the chat.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat. It's a protected account, right? Okay, maybe I shouldn't be publicizing this. Never mind, he doesn't have a Twitter account. Don't worry about it.
if you find so enlightened for self-promotion, where I have something more saying on it.
But, all right, well, anyway, thanks for coming on the show, and I'm going to roll these credits. So, goodbye, Padraig.
Later.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys and gals. Hopefully there are gals watching this too, right? Next week. Oh, that's right. Community game night. Xenos is doing one. When is it? Thursdays at 6 Pacific. Go to community game night. Do it. You can still hear me. Also, there's co-op night. Yeah, community game night. Thursday at 6 Pacific. Co-op Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is 7 Pacific. I always forget. I'm going to put those into my PowerPoints. Oh, yeah, I guess the episode is over now. I'll cut it off after community game night stuff.